Have you ever noticed how differently people treat their birthdays? For some, it's the grandest day of the year, the one day they feel entitled to celebrate themselves without apology. Balloons fill the room, music plays, friends gather, and social media lights up with endless posts and stories. There's laughter, pictures, and a sense of validation that whispers, "I matter." But for others, it's just another day. No party. No dinner. No plans. Just 24 hours passing by like any other. No candles, no songs, no reminders. They might even receive a few text messages, maybe a quick happy birthday from a coworker, and that's it. Nothing more. And here's where it gets interesting. Why? Why do some people go all out while others feel no desire to celebrate at all? Is it sadness? Is it maturity? Or is it something much deeper, something hidden in the folds of our psychology, shaped by our experiences, our wounds, and our growth? Let's peel back the layers. For some people, the story begins in childhood. When they were younger, birthdays were supposed to be magical, a day filled with laughter, attention, and warmth. But what happens when that doesn't come? What happens when the people you love forget? When your friends don't show up? When no one makes you feel like you matter, even on the one day meant for you? That experience doesn't just disappear, it imprints. Over time, the mind learns to protect itself. It starts whispering things like, "Don't get your hopes up. Don't plan anything. Don't expect too much." This quiet emotional defense mechanism becomes what psychologists call learned helplessness, when repeated disappointment teaches the brain to stop expecting joy altogether. So the person stops celebrating. Not because they don't care, but because caring hurts too much. The act of ignoring their birthday becomes a form of emotional self-protection. If you never expect anyone to show up, you'll never be disappointed when they don't. But there's another side to this, the side shaped not by pain, but by pressure. These are the people whose lives are so fast-paced that they barely have time to breathe, let alone celebrate. They wake up to emails, rush to work, handle responsibilities, navigate deadlines, and chase the ticking clock all day. By the time they realize what day it is, it's already over. Psychologists call this time blindness, a side effect of modern life where our sense of time collapses under the weight of constant busyness. In this state, even meaningful moments lose their flavor. The birthday doesn't vanish, it just gets drowned by everything else. And before you know it, the day you were supposed to honor yourself becomes one more item on life's endless to-do list. Then, there's a third group, perhaps the most misunderstood of all. These are the ones who know it's their birthday, but they simply don't feel the need to celebrate. No sadness. No bitterness. No exhaustion. Just a calm, grounded peace. They've reached a level of self-awareness where they no longer rely on external validation. They've learned that true joy doesn't come from parties, gifts, or attention, it comes from within. Psychological research connects this to something called self-determination theory. It's the idea that real happiness stems from autonomy, living by your own values, competence, feeling capable in your world, and relatedness, having genuine, meaningful connections. These people don't reject celebration out of cynicism, they've simply outgrown the need for it. To them, maturity means realizing, I don't need candles or applause to prove I'm valuable. I don't need a date on a calendar to remind me I'm alive. They've stopped waiting for external validation because they've found something far more powerful, internal peace. Sparkles, before we go further, take a second to hit that subscribe button and become part of Truth to Mastery. Sparkles. Here, we don't chase shallow psychology or motivational fluff. We uncover the real, raw patterns of the human mind, the parts that most people ignore. If you're someone who thinks deeply, who questions everything, and who's tired of living unconsciously, this space is for you. Join the movement. Let's master the mind together. Now, back to where we left off. This mindset, the ability to remain calm and self-contained, doesn't just apply to birthdays. It shapes an entire way of living. People who don't make a big deal about their birthday often move through life with the same quiet composure. They don't crave the spotlight. They don't depend on constant recognition to feel alive. But that doesn't mean they never feel lonely. Of course, they do. They're human. The difference is, they've trained their minds to find meaning in ordinary days. They don't wait for one day a year to feel special, they see beauty in the everyday moments most people overlook. The sunrise. A deep conversation. A quiet walk. The small wins that never make it to social media. And ironically, this subtle way of living often reflects a stronger emotional foundation. Because when you stop chasing celebrations to feel alive, you start living more authentically. You realize that fulfillment doesn't always roar, sometimes it whispers. So, what does your attitude toward your birthday say about you? If you love to celebrate, that's not wrong. It could mean you value connection, joy, and expression. You find meaning in community. But if you don't celebrate, if you quietly let the day pass, that's not sadness or detachment. It could mean you've reached a deeper stage of emotional evolution where you no longer depend on others to feel whole. Every behavior tells a story. For some, it's a story of past pain. For others, it's about present priorities. And for a few, it's a story of inner peace, the peace that comes when you stop waiting for the world to notice you, because you've already noticed yourself. So, which story is yours? Do you still need the celebration, or have you already found it within yourself? If this made you see birthdays, or even yourself, from a new psychological lens, then you'll love what's coming next. Here at Truth to Mastery, we don't just talk about psychology, we live it. Every episode dives deeper into the truths that shape your identity, your relationships, and your growth. Subscribe now, not just to stay updated, but to begin your journey toward understanding the deepest parts of who you are. And if you're ready to connect with others walking the same path, join our Discord community, a space where thinkers, creators, and seekers come together to share insights, challenge ideas, and grow. The link is in the description. Until next time, remember this: mastery isn't about control. It's about awareness. And awareness begins when you start observing yourself, even on the days that seem ordinary. Because sometimes, the way you treat your birthday says everything about the way you treat your life.